Good morning, everyone. Today I'd like to tell you about Osisko Metals, what I consider to be the best base metal growth story in the junior space. We're focused on zinc in two of Canada's premier mining camps. That's what I want to talk to you about today, with forward-looking statements throughout the presentation. So we started in June of last year, and we have a controlling position in two of Canada's premier zinc mining camps. Pine Point Mining Camp was a stranded asset. We were able to close a transaction on February 23rd, and the following Monday we announced a 50,000 meter drill program. The Bathurst Mining Camp I know very well. I worked for Noranda for 20 years. I worked in the camp and at Brunswick number 12, and we were able to secure about 63,000 hectares in that camp, and we're looking to develop a multi-deposit concept that would feed a central concentrator. So we have an aggressive project development strategy. Combined, we have 100,000 meters in both camps, probably one of the more aggressive base metal exploration programs out there. A lot of this is to upgrade 50 million tons of historical resources at Pine Point to 43-101 compliance, and that should really re-rate our stock as we go. The management and board of directors were backed by the Osisko group. I'll talk about that group in a second. And we're well capitalized with no debt. We have about 30 million remaining in the bank. We raised about 41 in a few months when we started last year. So this is the layout. You see Pine Point just north of Alberta. You see the Bathurst camp on the east coast. 3 of our grassroots projects in Quebec. And we also signed a joint venture with our sister company, Osisko Mining, with 12 drill-ready targets in the Urban Berry camp, where they're drilling off the Windfall deposit. This is the Osisko story. There's too much to get into right now, but the summary of this slide is in a period of 13 years, they created $9 billion for shareholder value. So it's a very impressive track record. They built Canada's largest gold mine, the world's 4th largest royalty company, and in June of last year, we started our story. So we have analyst coverage from both Paradigm and Canaccord Genuity that just came out recently. We have important shareholders. There's Osisko Gold Royalties and Mining for 11.5%. You see the list there, and there's some very large institutional funds out of London. These are long-term shareholders, and also the Caisse de dépôt et placement du Québec for 1.7%. Again, the management team on our board, we have Bob Wares and John Brzezinski, 2 of the founders of the Osisko Group. Luc Lessard has built 11 mines, and he's on his 12th. And on the management side, we have several former Noranda employees that are working in the Bathurst camp, and combined between myself and several of them, we have about 100 years experience in that camp. So we're well on our way to developing value in that camp and also in the Pine Point camp. So why zinc? I won't get into it too much, but there's been 75% supply destruction since 2013. A lot of closures, one being Brunswick number 12 in one of the camps we're looking at. Century was the other major closure. But really the supply destruction and the lack of projects in the pipeline are painting a perfect storm for zinc. The forecasts are very high. You're looking at 150 to maybe up to 2, or let's say 175 on an annual average in the forecasts. But with few projects coming in the pipeline, several people think that days of zinc prices below $1 are probably behind us, and that for decades to come, we'll probably see a higher price than what we've seen in the past. So that's good for zinc. The other thing on the projects that are coming into development, Gamsberg and Dugald, they're challenged by very high manganese content. And Pine Point, we have one of the cleanest cons in the zinc space. So that's something that all smelters and traders would like to trade. So Pine Point, very quickly, it was the most profitable zinc mining camp in Canadian history between 64 and 68. Open pitable zinc at above 10% combined lead zinc. So very rich with very shallow pits, all of them above 100 meters. So there's 64 million tons. They produced 64 million tons. That was out of 50 pits. So again, numerous small pits close to surface. And so there's multiple historical deposits. We started drilling them off in February. We're releasing results right now from the winter drill program. Spring break is nearly done, and the rigs are about to start up again, so there'll be good news flow coming out of both Pine Point and the Bathurst camp. Again, in both camps, we're developing historical resources and moving towards development. The metallurgy in Pine Point, as I said, is exceptional. The product with very low impurities, it's a premium blending product. And as well, Bathurst Mining Camp, it's maybe a little bit higher on iron, but a very good concentrate profile that was revered by many smelters worldwide during its production years. We want to rapidly move towards development. So our first step is to convert the historical resources, get a resource base, and go to economic studies as quickly as is possible. So that will be an important reevaluation of our stock and our potential going forward. This is a layout. I won't get into it, but what was very important for us in choosing projects in base metals, you need infrastructure to get the concentrate out, you need rail, you need significant power. So in both the Pine Point and the Bathurst Mining Camp, being former producing mining camps, all of the infrastructure is there, from electrical to there's the red line here is highway access, but also you'll see in the next slides there's about 100 kilometers of haul roads in very good condition right on site. Here you can see those haul roads. You see the former tailings, the white patch. Essentially, what I want to go back here is before the resources were spread out pretty well over 65 kilometers in the previous PEA. What we're doing is we're zooming in to the central 20 kilometers, and within the East Mill Zone and the Central Mill Zone, we feel there's enough resources there to go to development, and we're going to continue to explore the northern trend and the whole trend, actually over the 65 kilometers, to further build resources. We have an objective of getting to 50 million tons of indicated resources within a year, and that'll be at somewhere north of 5–6%. It's hard to say at this point, but it's order of magnitude in this camp, it'll be around 5%. This is some of the resources, some of the historical resources, and if you look at the combined lead zinc averages on the left hand in the indicator, you see there's resources there, 6 million tons up to 7.7%. So there are higher grade resources, and if you look at the headlines that are coming out from our intersections, locally there's some very high grade deposits in this camp. So we're aggressively pursuing with a 50,000 meter drill program to confirm and convert the resources, targeting about 50 million tons of open pitable resources. Here's some of the results. We see the K35 deposit. Sorry, this is the L36. And most of the mineralization that we're outlining in the East Mill Zone is above 50 meters. The Central Zone will be a little deeper, but not significantly. So we're in the process of expanding upon those historical resources. And it's, in this case, you can see the scale, it's about 50 to 100 meters wide over that strike length, and the East Mill Zone adds up to about a 7-kilometer strike length. So it's quite a long tabular body, and that's what we're in the process of drilling off. Again, the concentrate grades, zinc 58, lead 65 plus, very low on all deleterious elements. Access to ports to get the concentrate to our customers is available through the connection at Hay River. And the Bathurst Mining Camp, here we have 63,000 hectares. Brunswick number 12 produced about 150 million tons at 12% combined. So we're in the third largest VMS camp in the world. Building resources here as well. We have a large land package, as you see here, and we're drilling off historical deposits to do basically the same strategy as we're doing at Pine Point. There's some more details here. Here in this camp, it's more of a 10 to 12% combined lead zinc and an underground scenario. Kianakon is our newest project we acquired in December. It's a project that's been on the shelf for over since the 50s, 60s, a little bit of drilling. You can see that it's very open. We've just put together the GEMCOM database, and we've moved 2 rigs on this, and we're going to bring a third. Thank you very much.